Order. Order. I call the meeting to order. This is the Standing Committee on Human Resources. I'm Nolan Young, MLA for Shelburne, and the chair of this committee. Today, in addition to reviewing appointments to ABCs, we will hold an agenda setting, and I'd ask everyone if they could turn their phones off or put them on silent. And I'd ask our committee members to introduce themselves, beginning with MLA White.
I'm MLA John White from Dominion Glace Bay.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. It's Dave Ritzie, MLA for Truro Bible Hill, Millbrook, Salmon River.
Good Tuesday. It's Johnny McDonald, MLA for Hants East.
Hi there, it's Tom Taggart. Hope you're having a great day. I'm MLA for Colchester North. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Susie Hanson. I'm the MLA for Halifax Needham.
Good afternoon, Kendra Coombs, the MLA for Cape Breton Centre, Whitney Pier.
Good afternoon, Ali Douali, Halifax Armdale.
Good afternoon, Tony Ince, MLA for Cole Harbour.
And for the purposes of Hansard, I recognize the presence of Legislative Counsel Gordon Hebb and Legislative Committee Clerk Judy Kavanagh. So for committee business, we have some agency boards and commission appointments. And I think we'll start with MLA McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the Department of Health and Wellness, I move that Jessica Fancy Landry and Barry Morshead be appointed public representatives for the board of the Nova Scotia College of Audiologists and Speech Language Pathologists.
Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries.
You skipped the top one.
MLA McDonald.
So disappointed I did that. Thank you. For the Department of Community, Culture, Tourism and Heritage, I move that Trevor Gould be appointed member of the Arts Nova Scotia Board.
Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. MLA McDonald.
For the Department of Health and Wellness, I move that Alana Baxter, John Bodie, and Lisa Matthews be appointed public representatives for the board of the Nova Scotia College of Counseling Therapists.
Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. MLA McDonald?
Yes, sir. For the Department of Justice, I move that Denise, GSO, Max, I got nasty names, Chauvin, Melissa Mixer, and Louis Pope be appointed members of the Accessibility Advisory Board.
Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. MLA Ritzie.
For the Department of Justice, I move that Diana Brothers, Fola Adelki, Jennifer Sang, Julia Mate, and Sharon Ross be appointed Commissioners of the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission.
Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. MLA Ritzie.
For the Department of Public Works, I move that Donna Maureen Smith-Darrell be appointed member of the Halifax-Dartmouth Bridge Commission.
Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. In addition, we have our agenda setting, and I think the topics have been circulated and submitted. I would ask that maybe we could put forward our topics for discussion, starting with MLA White.
I move that the first topic for the PC caucus be support connecting newcomers to workforce, the witnesses being representative of the Department of Labour, Skills and Immigration and representatives of Nova Scotia Immigration and Population Growth, representatives from Y-Reach as well.
Is there discussion on that motion? MLA Coombs.
Yes, just clarity of who you're looking for with the last one.
MLA White.
I think I read it wrong. It's YMCA, but I just said representatives from YMCA is what I meant.
Y-Reach.
Yeah, I'm right.
MLA Hanson.
I just wanted to just put this out there. I mean, I know we're proposing witnesses, but when it comes to newcomers, I would think as well, on top of the YMCA, the ISANS would also be a group to be a part of that particular conversation. But that's just a thought. Sorry, I should have just said it was a thought.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, maybe we'll call the question on that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. MLA White.
I move the second topic for the PC caucus be support for firefighters, the witness being Halifax Professional Firefighter Association, IAFF Local 268, Captain Brendan Meager, President, and Michael Sears, Vice President, representatives of Department of Skills and Immigration, Fire Service Association of Nova Scotia, Greg Jones, President, and Wade Jennings, First Vice President, and the Burt Fire Brigade.
Is there any discussion on that motion? No, seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. MLA White.
I move the third topic for the PC caucus be training and education partnerships, training initiatives for physicians, nurses, and continuing care assistants. The witnesses being representatives from Department of Advanced Education, representatives from Department of Health and Wellness, and Department of Seniors Long-Term Care, and the Assistant Deputy Minister, and representatives from NSCC School of Health and Human Services, and representatives from the Health Association of Nova Scotia.
Is there any discussion on that topic? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. Moving on to the Liberal caucus, MLA Ince.
Thank you. There are two topics for discussion. The first for us will be the skilled labor shortages and the impact on critical infrastructure in Nova Scotia. Representatives from the Department of Labor, Skills and Immigration, representatives from the Department of Public Works, and NSCC Jill Provost, Vice President of Academic, and NSCC Tom Gunn, Dean of Trades and Transportation, will be witnesses. Second topic.
Oh, we'll go one topic at a time.
Sorry.
Is there MLA Ritzy?
I was wondering if, like to add a representative from the apprenticeship board. My suggestion is Chair Brad Smith, and potentially, since we have somebody already from the NSCC and Jill Provo, they can replace, Brad Smith could replace Tom Gunn. If we're going to talk about trades and education, we already have a representative from the NSCC, so I'm just thinking it's important to also hear from a witness that can speak to managing the trades and training and certification system in Nova Scotia, and the chair, Brad Smith, could do that.
So you have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? Is that okay? Yeah, an amendment to the motion, sorry. Yeah. MLA Ritzy.
I move to amend the witness list to include representatives of the Department of Labor, Skills and Immigration, representatives of the Department of Public Works, NSCC Jill Provo, Vice President Academic, and representatives, and from the Apprenticeship Board, with the suggestion of Brad Smith, the chair.
Is there any discussion on that amendment? No? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. 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 Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries.
The amendment has been accepted.
Yeah.
Then you have to vote on the amended motion.
The amended one. All those in favor of the amended motion? Aye. Signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion carries. MLA Ince.
And thank you. For our second topic, we'll review the school breakfast programs with representatives from Nourish, Nova Scotia, representatives from the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development, and from Calvin Presbyterian Church, Allison Power, Summer Breakfast Program Coordinator.
Is there any discussion on this topic? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. MLA Coombs.
Thank you. We're putting forward the motion for our proposed topic, the impact of low wages on labor shortage. Our proposed witnesses are the Department of Labor, Skills and Immigration, Deputy Minister, Minimum Wage Review Committee, Employee Representative Danny Kavanagh or Designate, Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives, Atlantic Executive Director.
MLA Ritzy.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to talk about this one. We've had during PAC, we've had the Canadian Centre of Policy Alternatives Atlantic Executive Director, as well as Mr. Danny Kavanagh, and just trying to make sure that we have a verse of information out there, and would like for somewhat of a change. And with labor shortages the way they are, and something employers see, so it is important to capture this perspective as well from our witness that I'd like to add, such as see the CFIB added to the list. And I'll add his name in my motion, if that's at all possible, and remove CCPA.
MLA Coombs.
My answer is going to be the same as it was this morning when this occurred, and that is we will certainly think about adding, but we are not taking out one of our witnesses. I believe members opposite have said numerous times that the intent of their topic and their witnesses, I believe those were the members opposite words. Many times over, every time we propose witnesses, the intent of their topic, even though we were just adding, members opposite want to take out witnesses from our proposed witnesses. That is not agreeable to us. We will certainly entertain adding, but not taking out of witnesses.
MLA Ritzy.
Make a motion. I move to amend the witness list to include the following witnesses: Department of Labor, Skills and Immigration, Deputy Minister, Minimum Wage Review Committee, Employee Representative, whoever that may be, representative from the CFIB Atlantic Chapter, Canadian Federation of Independent Business, Louis-Philippe Gauthier.
MLA Coombs.
I would just like to point out for the record that this is becoming sort of, the word escapes me right now. What would be the word for this?
Hypocritical?
Maybe. No, it is becoming, it's become sort of a pattern with my members across trying to take out our witnesses and our proposed topic. And I find that very concerning to our democratic process, to what we're trying to do here as a committee. I find it very advantageous that the members opposite are taking this perspective and this tone of trying to take out our witnesses through their majority. And like I said, we would definitely entertain adding, but not taking out of our witnesses. And I'm going to say it. This is becoming a pattern. It is very concerning. It was just occurred with my colleagues prior to this, and of course they were agreeable. But here you're trying to take out, and maybe they were agreeable because it was two NSCCs, But here the members opposite are trying to take out our witnesses. I find this very advantageous and worrying that the members are trying to do this. This happened earlier this morning in community services with trying to take out a witness. Even though we were agreeable to add a witness, we were not agreeable to take out our witness. And so, again, the members opposite have continuously said, when we've proposed witnesses, not taking out of any witnesses, but proposed witnesses to add to the conversation, the members opposite would say to us, that was not the intent of our topic. And so forth, continuously, even though we felt that it would add to the conversation, as you said. So if you want to add to the conversation, we'll entertain adding somebody. But we're not entertaining any notion of taking out one of our witnesses, especially when we only get one topic. So I would ask the members to please rethink that motion so that we can have a very productive meeting and productive meetings going forth.
MLA Ritzy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I too want a productive meeting. And you know, Mr. Kavanaugh, we've heard from already in PAC. We've also heard from CCPA. We've also heard from them and their thoughts. And I think to have a productive and heavily discussed information session in committee, I think my request of adding somebody from the Federation of Independent Business would be a critical portion in that, and also saying that we've already heard from the Canadian Centre of Policy Alternatives already in committees, and so I'd like to call the question.
MLA Hanson, then MLA Coombs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As my colleague has said it very calmly, we are not opposed to entertaining adding an additional presenter here. We did not say no to that. What we're saying is you will not change our presenters list. We have one topic. And if you would like to listen to that particular presenter in another topic, you have 3 to choose. You could bump one of yours and add another topic of discussion. So I will say this. We have one option. These are our presenters for this particular option. If you'd like to add that particular presenter, we are not against that. What we're saying is we don't have very much other options to do the work that we want to do and hear from the presenters that we want to bring forward. So this is our one time to do that. So with respect to us making change, wanting to make suggestions in previous meetings and always being shut down, we will as well not entertain a change with our presenter unless you add.
MLA Coombs.
Thank you. It's been mentioned that these things were a PAC. Well, a lot of things come to PAC that we deal with in Health Committee, that we deal with in Human Resources, that we deal with in Community Services. They all come through PAC because it's for the Auditor General's reports. Now, and PAC is its own creation, and I think it would do members very well that we, as a community service meeting, as community services, or human resources, I'm sorry, human resources, oh my gosh. See, I'm having the same conversation I did in human resources, so it's getting a little, like I said, it's a pattern. But this is human resources, which means labor is big. So to say deal with it in PAC, I've heard let's deal with it in PAC, and in PAC I've heard let's deal with it in Community Services, Human Resources, Health Committee. I can verbatim say that this is the same arguments we continuously have. Here's the thing, this is a different committee. It acts differently. It behaves differently. It has different members. And different kinds of questioning will go on in Human Resources than it will happen in PAC. You'll get a different conversation. So again, we'll say, we will entertain adding the CFIB. If I said that right now, because it's been a day. But we will not entertain the Conservative Party, the PCs, I'm sorry. But right now, I got to tell you, it's getting hard. But will not entertain the PCs trying to take out our witnesses. I find that,
On multiple occasions.
as I said, this is the second time today, and I just find it troubling. And I'm hoping my colleagues to the right beside me find it troubling, and I hope my colleagues across from me are recognizing the pattern and finding it troubling, and they will kindly amend their motion, forward a new motion, and we'll entertain adding. Thank you.
MLA Dwally.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for my colleague getting my attention, even though I raised my hand before. You have plead for support and help. I really believe we as a committee, we're not here for the parties. Mm-hmm. We're here for Nova Scotians. Mm-hmm. These individuals and these witnesses are Nova Scotians who have a critical information for Nova Scotians. And I really believe we are disserving for the people of this province, denying those who have those informations and those who can testify their knowledge to be in this committee and to be this table. I'll urge the members of this committee to be mindful. We're here for Nova Scotians. The subject matter we are talking about is not ours. It's the people's subject matter. And we should allow those expertise and those who have the knowledge to be here. I'm taking this very seriously, but also I'm part of this committee. I really like to see this committee productive committee that serves the purpose that we've been selected to be here. So I'm going to continue that, and also to be fair, they have only one item that to choose. Let's be mindful of each other. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
MLA Ince.
Thank you. Interesting. I've never been on committees before, so I want to start with that, and it's quite interesting. As a former minister who is sitting on a committee now, I have one question while I'm sitting and listening to what, the dialogue and what's been happening. And my question is this: are witnesses only allowed to be on one committee? So there's nothing to preclude Mr. Kavanaugh from being a witness at this one. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, MLA Ritzy.
I'm going to repeat my motion and call the question again. I move to amend the witness list to include the following witnesses: Department of Labor, Skills and Immigration Deputy Minister, Minimum Wage Review Committee Employee Representative, representative from the CFIB Atlantic Chapter, Canadian Federation of Independent Business, Louis-Philippe Gauthier. And call the question.
Yeah, MLA Hanson.
Comment, because I find this very interesting, and then we can go right to whatever the government sitting wants to say. Is this our topic, the NDP topic, that we choose as presenters to bring forward to give valuable information to the committee, or is this the PC party's topic and presenters to decide? I just want a clarification on that.
It's an NDP topic put forward.
Thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think what I'm hearing from Mr. Ritzy is that it was a packed topic that was fairly similar with a lot of the same witnesses, and the topic's important to Nova Scotians, but to hear from other voices, is that? Yeah, MLA Hanson.
I just want to say, and I'm glad that you pointed that out, because I remember sitting here and saying, why do we continue to have the same deputy minister sitting around the table giving us the same information at every committee meeting? But I will say it's valuable for us to add new voices to our presenters, so we don't mind adding, but when you remove presenters, it takes away from, the topic discussion. Thanks.
And part of the minimum wage review committee, I think Mr. Kavanagh sits on. And I mean, in theory, that could be the person who's attending. It's someone from that committee, right? Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. No. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay.
No, thank you.
That motion carries. And then to vote on the amended motion,
Wait,
MLA Coombs.
yes, there was a tie, so as chair, you'll actually have to put your vote in.
Yeah.
I did vote. I voted yes.
Okay.
Chair votes on the first vote.
Yeah. Okay, let's vote on the amended motion. All those in favor of the amended motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. All right, we have our December meeting date. The regular committee meeting date would be the 27th day of December. And to avoid the holidays, we've been supplied a couple of dates, Tuesday the 6th or Tuesday the 13th of December as an alternative as opposed to meeting over the Christmas break. Could you repeat those dates? Yeah. MLA Diwali.
I just want to remind the committee and through you, the chair. Last year, I put a motion for the floor for this committee. And my recollection, that motion was given a time and this committee to have a respond. It's over a year. And we're here, a new year, setting up an agenda. Through your leadership, I really like to have an update where we are and where we go from here. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Clerk Kavanaugh?
Yeah, no, actually, I'm glad you asked. I can provide an update on that. I've been writing to the Executive Council office over the summer, asking them to respond to the letter I sent them after the motion was passed in our February meeting. And the person who would normally have done that, Karen Stone, who appeared at our first meeting, she has been out of the office on leave for most of the summer. On Friday last week, I think, or Thursday, she told me she had retired. So I wrote to the person who is filling in for her now until they hire a new, I forget what the title is, but anyway, I wrote to them and said, can you respond to this letter? Can you provide us with an answer? And she said, we're in the middle of hiring a new, I believe it's executive director. We would rather wait until that new person is hired and ask them to respond.
Yeah. MLA Dwelly?
Thank you for your update, but also I just want to remind the committee, I really believe this was one of the, collective decisions that we made. We, as elected officials, felt this was a very important issue, and I really believe also it will make our job and our responsibility way much better than what it is. That doesn't mean there's something wrong. What it meant is we can do way much better than what we are doing. And as we know, as a province, we have intention to increase our population. We are accepting. We are a very diverse province. We accepted to embrace that. So I really believe we should include our ABCs, how we can achieve that goal, to see the reflection of Nova Scotians, people that we are selecting. So I just want to put my colleagues for their mind and to continue to foster this idea. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
MLA Coombs.
Mr. Chair, you asked about the dates.
Yeah.
I'm proposing the 13th of December as December 6th is the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women, and there will be memorials and action on that during those times that I believe many MLAs will want to be in their ridings for.
Yep.
There's a.
Would 9 to 11 work on the 13th? Yeah. Seeing nods around the room? Okay. I don't need a motion for that, do I? No. Okay. We have our annual report as well, which has been circulated. MLA McDonald.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And before I do that, I'd like to thank MLA for that, because you're right, that I'd forgotten that we hadn't gotten it. So I'm glad you remembered, and I do look forward to that report coming back. I would have hoped that it would have been in the next agenda setting, and I would expect, most likely, the group would agree that the sooner we can get it, I'm sure we'll adjust the schedule if we have to, because that's very important. So I do want to thank you for that. And I do want to, I move to approve the annual report for the Human Resources Committee as written.
Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. That motion carries. Our next meeting is going to be Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, from 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. Because the House is expected to be still sitting, the committee will meet to approve appointments to agencies, boards, and commissions. With that said, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.